Now, after watching this video, guys, you will learn how to make connections. I'm talking about speaker connections to your AV receiver or your two-channel amplifier, your integrated amplifier, just so that, you know, your connections look more professional, looks much cleaner, if you understand what I'm saying. Right? So stay tuned. All right. So if you look at these receivers here, well, one is a receiver. They're both receivers actually, but one is a surround sound receiver. This one is a surround sound receiver. This is a 5.1 receiver, and this is an integrated amplifier. And it's called a receiver because it has a radio built in, right? So it's not a receiver as in the sense of this one here, the surround sound one, but I think I think there's an understanding in the tech world or in the audio video world that if it has a radio, if it has a tuner built in, then receiver is attached to the name. So they both have tuners built in, and so they are called receivers. So this is a surround sound receiver for home theater, and this is a two-channel system for you know, for music listening, for audio playback. Now, if you look at the back, you will notice that there are a plethora of connections. But today we're going to focus on the speaker connections, right? So on the receiver here, which is at the top, we have two sets of binding posts. These are called binding posts, right? Down here on the integrated amplifier, we have 4 sets of binding posts, right? Now, I personally prefer binding posts compared to, say, these on the receiver. These are spring-loaded clips, yeah, to connect your speakers to. So, you know, there are various ways, quite a different, you know, quite a few ways that you can connect your speakers to your gear. And in many cases, these are also called 5-way binding post. Yeah, 5-way, because I think for each one of these, you can possibly connect a wire 5 different ways, you know, to anyone. But today, I'm just going to show you how many, I'm just going to focus on the more common ones. The spring-loaded one, here, I'm going to go through them and explain as I go along, all right? So the most common way of connected, the most common way, probably not, but the easiest way that most people connect a speaker to an amplifier is by using bare wire, right? So this is speaker wire, and what I did, I stripped the ends off so that the wire is exposed, you know, and this would be the most common way that people would make their connections to their amplifier. And they would connect by using the spring-loaded clips. So this amplifier, this receiver here has spring-loaded clips, and essentially what you do, the way they work, you just squeeze them back and insert the cable. Squeeze them back. You know, they're spring-loaded, like I said, and you just insert the cable. I'm not going to push them all the way in. I just want to show you the concept. So this here would be the most common way that people would make their connections, especially people who are unfamiliar with audio video gear. It's a quick and easy way. It's a down and dirty kind of way. Forgive me for saying that, but yeah, so that's one way. I'm going to release them. Yeah, so the bare wire connected to speaker to spring-loaded clips. Another way that people would do it again would be the same bare wire, and they would screw off the binding posts, screw these back. And if you look here, underneath here, somewhere, there's a hole where you can feed the cable through. So there you feed the cable up here, and you just tighten these back. Now this provides a secure connection. It does provide a secure connection, right? Let me just do that again. Just unscrew them, you just back them out a little bit, push your cable in, and tighten. Simple. Tighten up. And you do the same thing with this. Back it out, push your cable in, and tighten. Right? So this is another quick way that you would make connections to your from your speakers to your amplifier. Right? Now, yeah, this is quick and easy. Okay. All right. So that's the second way. But me personally, I do not like those connections. I'm just saying it out loud right now. I personally do not like. Number one, for me, in my book, they look a bit amateurish. I mean, if you purchase this, a receiver like this, and you get the the spring-loaded clips, then you do not have an option but to connect them that way, because that's the only option, But personally, if I can avoid a piece of gear with these spring-loaded clips on them, then I'll do it, right? I'll definitely do it, right? So I do not particularly like these kind of connections because they look a bit dirty to me. They don't look very they look very untidy. That's what I want to say. Yeah, and I'm just worried about wires touching each other and shorting out, right? So I'm not a big fan of these kind of connections. And so the objective of this video is to show you a more efficient way and a safer way, and a way that looks more clean and pleasing to the eyes. Not only that, it is efficient because if you want to switch out a piece of gear, it's much more easier to do. So the connections that I have are these. I have spade connectors. These are called spades, right? The audiophiles, this is what they use most of the time, the high-end guys. I have some mini banana plugs here. They're much smaller. I'm going to show you how you connect your cable to these, right? So these are, banana plugs again, and these are the standard banana plugs that you would use, or most people use. These are more common nowadays. This is just one brand, but these are typically, this is how they look, right? And these three components kind of work the same way to a certain extent. This is a little bit different because this one you have to back it off completely, and I'll show you how it works. So the first thing I'm going to do, and before I even make a connection, I'm just going to show you how this is done. So these little banana plug, or most banana plugs, they have these little screws in them. You may not be able to see them, but so you would take a screwdriver and you would kind of back the screw a little bit. Oh, the tip of the screwdriver is a little bit too wide. But anyway, there's a screw here that goes on the inner chamber of this thing. So, and you would push up the wire, you would back out the screw, push in push the cable in, and then you would tighten it so that the screw comes back down onto the wire that's inside of this, right? They make a firm connection. And it's the same protocol with this, with the spade. You'd notice this spade has two screws, one at the back, one here, and another one here. All right, hope you're able to see. Yeah. Okay, so essentially what I'm going to do, push the cable in, you would push the cable in, and then you would just tighten the screws so that you get a secure and firm connections. Okay? Firm connection. All right? Okay. All right, so for the banana plug, the standard banana plug, all you need to do, observing polarity, because polarity is very important, you would just push them in. Just going to push back, tighten these back. All you need to do is just push them in. And you have a firm connection there, right? Firm connection. Same thing with this. Same thing with this. If you had speaker terminals that can accept this, the same thing you do. You just push them in, right? Push them in and secure. If the speaker terminal can take spade, you would back these out, put the spade in like this. Hopefully you're able to see it. Push put the spade in like this, and then you would tighten. Right? As long as the speaker terminal can take spades. Right? Right? Something like that. This is not ideal because these speaker terminals are not conducive to spades, but this is typically what it would look like. Right? Gonna zoom in. Okay. All right. So that's another way. So like I said, you have standard banana plugs. You have these mini banana plugs here, and you have spades. Right? Now, for me personally, I use banana plugs a lot because I tend to switch out gear pieces from time to time. This space here is a multi-purpose place. This is where I have my home theater. This is where I'm shooting these videos. I don't listen to music here anymore, but if I need to change out, or should I say, if you need to change out a piece of gear, an amplifier or a receiver out of your system, you like to test different brands, using these methods, it's much easier. For example, on a typical receiver, you can have up to maybe, I'm going to say, I'm just going on the low side, say 7, say 7.1 input or output, speaker outputs. And of course you have Dolby Atmos DTS:X where you're going into the teens in terms of the amount of, speaker outputs that you have. Right? But I'm just being conservative. So you have a 7.1 system. Then you would have 7, you would actually have, 14 banana plugs here to connect. Because, positive and negative for 7 channels, right? Now if you had to if you decide to switch out your gear and you were using say you know, the bare wire, and you were connecting them to your banana plugs, you know, in the method that I showed earlier, you know, it would take so much more time for you to unscrew everyone and pull out, unscrew, pull out, unscrew, pull out, right? The spring-loaded one is not so bad, but you know, I don't like the spring-load clips at all. But if you have, say you have 7 pairs of banana plug, in this case I have 4 pairs down here, right? And say, you know, they were all connected and I need to switch out this amplifier, right? All I need to do, I just get behind there, you know, I just get behind and I just yank them out. Boom, 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 done, right? Disconnect my source equipment, whether it might be my CD player or Blu-ray player or whatever it is. You know, disconnect my Ethernet cable. This has an Ethernet cable, and I'm done. You're done. You're done, right? Same thing with this. You know, if I was just using these 2 sets of banana plugs here, pull them out, boom, boom, boom. You know, say I had another pair here, boom, boom. You're done, you know, rather than having to be dealing with all these bare wire connections. I don't like it. So essentially, this video is just basically just to give you you know, a tip, you know, if you, especially if you're new to the audio video space or the home theater space, that it's better to use something like this, you know, banana plugs or spades, rather than going the bare wire route. For me personally, I get nervous with bare wire because I'm worried about short circuiting on wires, you know. You may end up cutting them a little bit too long and feed them through and they end up touching. I just don't like it. I just don't like the bare wire idea at all. And so my preferred method is the banana plug. And I just purchased these spades just to show you that this is also another option. People who are in the audio video space, especially in audio, this is what most people go with, right? Yeah, on the higher end amplifiers. So I hope this was helpful, guys. I hope you know, you found some value in this, and if you did, give me a thumbs up. Give me you know, hit that subscription button, because I have a lot of tips here. I have a lot of stuff I want to talk about. Not so much specs wise as we delve into this whole audio video hobby thing, but I thought I'd share that today. So give me a thumbs up, and until the next video, you take care. All right.